Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen and this is a day. What more do you want? Welcome. We're Tuesday, which is in theory the show that's got slightly more preparation gone into it. I wouldn't have even mentioned it if I were you. So we're going to go through the newspapers. This is my streaming show where we review the news on many levels. The hot place to be. I don't need the. I got the headline up there already. The hot place to be, if you want to get stuck into some of that sweet, sweet chat, is the chat on youtube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen, where, look, already it's kicked off. Joodles, too busy today. I'm meeting myself coming back. Beg pardon? Is that like a human centipede thing? What's happened there? I hope everyone had a cracking weekend, says Charlotte. Morning all, says Joodles. Hang on, who are you? I thought you were... Have you just come back? Is this like some sort of a time loop thing? Is the hello you from the future? Wow. M says, morning. It's good chat so far. And it's all out of date because it's afternoon now. Oh my G, says Joodles, that thumbnail. You can thank Proper Memes for that, for the thumbnail work. Also, apologies for there being no trailer on today's show if you're watching the live one, but that's fine. You'll see why other videos have been made. After the show, I'm going to do a Talk TV thing, and then there will be another video, a making of. I'm doing a making of I know. More prep has gone into the making of than the actual thing. Loving the purple hair, Steve. Suits you. I think any hair. I'll actually say that. We now know what I look like in a wig. I'm not sure it improves anything. And hello, chat. By the way, I do need to trim, don't I? Look at the state of this. But I'm tempted. It's grown enough that I might do something on the way out, so just trimming it all off. I might just leave it goatee or just tash that's all the way down here so I can kind of go, hey. Do that quite a lot. So yeah, get involved in the chat. Your thoughts always welcome. We should start off today by having a look at what's inside the newspapers, front pages. I get the front pages aren't inside the newspapers, but yeah, they're attached to what's inside the newspapers, so, you know. Reform's latest con is the headline on the front page of the Mirror. Suella Braverman, no one cares, has joined Reform. And let's be honest, I can't be the only one who thought, oh, had that not happened yet? No one was shocked. It was such an obvious thing that I'd forgotten that it hadn't happened. This was like, and I don't want to be harsh here, do you remember when Barry Manilow came out? It's exactly the same dynamic, isn't it? And I know that going to get me cancelled or something. I'm not being harsh in any direction. I'm just saying you hear the news and you thought, oh, I thought we already knew that news. All right. And then you just crack on with your day. That's it, isn't it? That's all there is to analyse that one. Well, look, there's some stuff inside the newspapers about that. Wrong one. If we get, we can zoom in. There is this. The Tories claim Suella Braverman had mental health problems as she defected to Reform. Which... One, if that is your angle, you are leaving yourself open to the question of, oh, why were you still having her in your party then? There's also the bit where basically a statement claimed that they had done all they could to look after Suella's mental health, but she was clearly very unhappy. You would be unhappy hanging with people who are having to go at your mental health all the time. It's got that dynamic, that vibe of throwing some shade on an ex, isn't it? She left me. Well, she wasn't right in the head. And it's just nice to know I'm not the only one who uses that strategy. So it's good to know. I mean, I don't know what to say other than I think there's a story in there, an angle to look at about how it is going to mess up things for Reform, isn't it? So now, Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman. So when they sit down and go, I don't know who's in charge of immigration in the last lot, but there must have been two people, someone who's in the Home Office, someone who's in charge of immigration. I don't know what they did, but they messed up royally. And then there just be like a picture of those two shaking hands or something with a Tory rosette on. I just think there's a branding issue. There's, hang on. Yeah, the old catchphrase that Ronnie Corbett had. The branding. Oh, shock horror. Barry Manilow is out, says Proper Memes. This is the show to come to for breaking news. I won't press the button for that one. I think I had a dream about it. Or maybe... it was a plane to Rwanda, maybe. And PM, I just feel sorry for Lola. The woman who drinks in a bar in Soho where the champagne tastes like cherry cola. I think as well, that's just a mix up behind the bar. It feels, I've not dealt with a lot of champagne. I've drank a lot of cola in my time. And I think if that's what's happened to you, it's just bad barmanship, isn't it? I realise that's not the main thrust of that song. No one listens to that and goes, there's a song, I can't remember the details, but some guy got served the wrong drink. Bit of a mix-up. Bit of a mix-up is what some people say about that song, but not about the drinks. What we're doing, front pages still. There is a strong chance I'm going to lose the plot an awful lot today, and I've not even kicked open this one yet. Front page of The Times goes with news that Barry Manilow... no, that wasn't it, is it? I kind of like this one. Police chatbots could free up the equivalent of 3,000 more officers. What? Chatbots will respond to victims of non-urgent crimes. The number of live facial recognition cameras will be increased. I'm less keen on that one. I shouldn't be. I'm not a criminal, therefore I don't have to worry about it. I do like criminals being arrested. I like people trying to recognise my face. All of these things, as parts of me, should add up, but they add up to making me think, I'm being surveilled, dude. You know what I mean? What happens if I want to be a criminal in the future? Does anyone ever think about that? What happens if I want to turn to crime? You're right, that's not the angle to try and go on here. Police chatbots, though, I like the idea of that because I think I could outrun one. You know, if it really kicks off and there's just like an iPad on wheels, I reckon I could. That's the future. Labour fears stumbling to third in by-election. Yeah, we know all this, though, don't we? This is what I was saying the other day about Andy Burnham. I think we've got an Andy Burnham headline coming up as well, where maybe we should talk about it there. But I was making predictions. One of the things that were not looking good for the by-election that's going to happen that Andy Burnham won't be in yet, we'll see, is that it will be happening at the same time as the local elections. Historically, a time when governments receive an absolute kicking. So maybe it's a dumb move, but let's see what else we've got here before we move on. Hands-on grandparents help themselves too. This is front page, right, of the Times. Those seeking free childcare from their parents now have an ace up their sleeve. I just want to compare and contrast. Front page of the Times. Meanwhile, in one of the tabloids, that much is what they give to it. Being a grandparent is good for the brain and may stave off the decline in memory and thinking skills, a study suggests. But then why are so many old people... Now, you might say correlation versus causation. I say, why bring that up? They're saying being a grandparent is good for your mental health. Then why are so many grandparents leaving their indicator on for about 5 hours? Riddle me that. Let's have a look. Today, 2 p.m, Reform will announce Boris is joining to complete the Johnson cabinet. Would not be surprised at all. Lola was a bar girl. A girl? I used to be a bar girl, so the operation went well, did it? I'm very confused. What are we talking about? Like in Coyote Ugly, with a tequila shot belt and Daisy Dukes. What was it? I don't think Lola was wearing Daisy Duke shorts. I'm not an expert in this, but from what I remember of the song, that would have been more of a giveaway than we needed. You know, because Daisy Duke shorts are really up into the gusset, aren't they? They're making a lot of work in the gusset. I'm fairly sure if Lola was wearing those, he wouldn't have mentioned the drinks at all. You know what I'm saying? The other Lola wasn't. Which one we're talking about? She was definitely a showgirl. Or maybe a feather duster with all of those yellow feathers. What a plot twist that would have been. Tony jumps over the bar and goes, wait, what have I seen? Woo! Not quite like that. Still got on the bar and danced, though. Were you just a drunk? Oh, that's the other people who dance on bars, isn't it? Why would you be drunk? You were drinking cherry cola all night. Very confused about today's show. Front page of Burnham. Oh, yeah. Burnham rebellion growing. I just want to mention this because it was one of my recent highlights. I was on the telly box, as I'm sure I mentioned an awful lot, because I'm very shallow. And I was asked about my thoughts on what was happening. By-election up in the northwest. Will Andy Burnham try and be an MP? Will the Labour's NEC block him? And here was my prediction, because I know things, I think things. I was saying there's no way that Andy Burnham would want the gig. He's already got quite a powerful position as the mayor up there. Other than Sadiq Khan, he's the main mayor you think of when you think of these metro mayors. Way more popular than Sadiq Khan. So why would he give that up? Surely he would say, I will see this job through to the end, position himself right to try and get some sort of a seat afterwards. Nope. By the end of that day, he'd said he wants to be an MP. And I said, okay. But there's no way the NEC will block him because it'll play so badly. They should actually let him try and run for the seat and lose. That would be the best outcome for Starmer. Then they blocked him. So my prediction skill, basically, I'm not playing the lottery this week. You're up to date. Front page of, we're rattling through the front pages today, aren't we? The Sun goes with Clan United, Beckham's step out in a show of solidarity. And I'm impressed by his suit. Double-breasted. Looks like it was very expensive. Then you look at her and you think, double-breasted. Looks like it was very expensive. So, good work all round. Either way, stitches were involved. I'll move away from that story then. The Daily Telegraph, China hacked phones at number 10. Of course, they flipping did. Years-long spying operation targeted senior figures, including aides to Johnson and Sunak. And this is because all of our tech, as I said on Plank of the Week the other night, I haven't mentioned I was on that because I'm very shallow and I mention my work quite a lot. Of course, we're absolutely being spied on and we can't do much back because I'm fairly sure our spying gear is all made by Huawei, which is a joke I made on there, and only Ben Habib got the darn thing. There we go. So look, Joodle says, but Steve, 3 buts. I'm not sure I can guarantee that on this show. An expert said you were right twice at the start of the month. You're right, are you? The Montgomery, whatever his name was. No, what was his name? The guy who was yes, he was the international affairs correspondent for the BBC. Said Steve's absolutely bang on. If only I had that clip available to play now. If I had that clip available to play now, that would be the end of the show. I'd just be sitting there going, Steve's right. Steve's right in the afternoon. There's another jingle I can make there. I feel sorry for the Chinese agents listening to Boris Johnson phone calls. Imagine having to translate from not your first language this sound. It's not easy. Emsicles says, I have a Huawei router too. Probably why I keep getting censored. No, we've been through this because you're from Middlesbrough. And it just, even the Chinese know. You know what I mean? Have we done any more front pages? And, oh yeah, this one. Tories weaponise mental health claims. We've not even got into that one, have we? No, we did already. Okay, I've forgotten that. Yeah, fair enough. What's that at the top? I see there's some food involved. No, that's not food, it's gold. Gold, you see, this is the difference between people who've got a lot of money, like Farage down there he is, who literally sells gold online, doesn't he? Yeah, you could invest in gold and all that. He sees something that looks like that, he probably thinks there's an investment opportunity or a way of getting other people to invest and taking, pocketing the cash. I see anything that's bar-shaped and it's wrapped in gold and I'm thinking, there's caramel in there, isn't there? It's not a rocky road, it's the gold bars. Remember these are the gold bars? That's why I've invested my money in. And you might think I'm stupid, but when society collapses, my additional fat deposits will be the thing that keeps me alive when you perish. Right, I think we're all sorted for the front pages. Huawei were the... Well, I'm not going to be able to say that. You're Huawei people. Is that what's happening? Proper Meme says, Boris Johnson sounds like that the drunk old man from the Fast Show. There, drunk at the time. Two. That's the other thing I noticed about Boris Johnson's way of speaking. The way he made the ooh sound. Two. He sounded like all of the weapons on the original Battlestar Galactica. Two. So. Let's get inside the news. Right, enough of this fun. We can't be having any of that anymore. Where do I start? Let's start with this one. It's a big page to try and fit in here. This is about Alan Carr dating. I include the whole thing because props, credit where it's due. Dating scenes giving me the willies. I mean, it is funny. It is, no, come on, fair play. It's a good pun. It's like me saying, those dating apps left me feeling a right tit. Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it? Size does matter to Alan's future lovers. Alan Carr says that he's on the lookout. Oh, hello. I'm Alan Carr. Oh, hello. I'm Alan Carr. Alan Carr says that he's on the lookout for love this year. Now, I'm no expert in the dating world, but I'll tell you what. I can't help thinking if you're trying to find a partner, maybe don't be famous for one of the most traitorous liars in the nation. Don't win the traitors and then say, oh, hello, I'm trying to find love. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I can lie, deceive you. Oh, kill you like Paloma. Ooh, hello. That's probably not what people are looking for. Just my theory. Alex is here. Shalom. Yep. That's what Michael Jackson used to say, isn't it? Bet Boris's family plan phone bill is massive. Well, yes, his family planning is obviously some of his issues. Alex is here. And Jules is saying hi to Alex. Oh, hello. Put that on the list, will you? I'm sure I've done that one before. I'm sure I had some. No, okay. Chandra to batter Brits. Floods and snow, chaos looms. Newly named storm Chandra will unleash rain and snow hell on Britain today. Life-threatening amber warnings. I've done all the amber jokes I've got. Will be in place. Could we just have a go at its name again? I thought we were naming them. It goes between the UK and Ireland, getting to name the storms, doesn't it? And I did think to yourself, I thought to myself, Chandra's not your typical Irish or British name. And then I thought, well, I'm going to get myself in trouble there. There is a chance that there's DEI in naming storms. And why not? Do you know what? That's the kind of thing where ordinarily you'd expect me to push back. But no, if you want to spend all of your time making sure that everyone's represented in storm names, feel free to do that. But the bigger problem is it begins with a C. I thought we'd go through them alphabetically, don't we? We had an I and an H the other day. We had Irena and Hector. I didn't memorize their names. I'm not great at names with people, and people are real, whereas storms don't actually have names, really. So, and why would I remember a storm's name? I'm never going to meet it again. By dint of how they work, when that storm's gone, he's gone. When did Chandra come after? Exactly, Jude. This is my point. DEI all of the storms you want, but can we at least stick to the alphabet? I'm a traditionist in very few ways, but in one of them is the order of the keys on the keyboard. Actually, the keyboard is a bad example. Okay, that's messed up. The order of the alphabets, the keys that I see in front of me, should be alphabetical. Now I'm going to have to pink them all off and make my keyboard alphabetical. I might do that and learn to type on it. That'd get me in the newspapers, wouldn't it? That's in Steve's dating app. Hey. So I've picked some very, very non-serious stories here. I don't know why we're doing this. I should have been covering real news. Lee in fake pic claims Katie Price's new husband. And we do some coverage of the marriage on today's all-hit radio show from One. Listen online. Has been accused of faking pictures with celebrities using AI. There's a picture of him with Elon Musk. And I did think to myself, surely you'd know they're AI if they were all in bikinis. But they've stopped that now, haven't they? And actually, I think we've made a mistake. I know there was a lot of hoo-ha. Sense of a Woman style era Al Pacino. No, there was a lot of hoo-ha about, put that on the list. Can we put it on the list? I thought it was a good move to stop AI putting people in bikinis because of, consent issues and the sexualization and all of that. But if we went the other way and all pictures of people made by AI had to be in bikinis, it actually would solve a problem. We're worried about deepfakes. How do you know that a picture is deepfaked? Oh, yeah, that picture of Joe Biden in a bikini, it's probably fake. Do you know what I mean? I think it would have helped. We should have lent into it. Face the storm. There's one thing I've learned from Star Trek. Turn and face the storm. Even though that ship was definitely not designed with any kind of aerodynamics. Because why would you when you can make a warp field? But the point is, we would have fixed it. So I'm saying all AI pictures should be in bikinis. And then I realised this show has a lot of AI pictures of me thanks to proper memes. And they'd all be in bikinis. We might lose some of the audience we've slowly built up. But, yeah. All right. Alex is saying hi to Charlotte. Everyone's just... It's like a meet and greet, isn't it? This one. Class is a pain in the arts. There, that works better, doesn't it? Class is a pain in the arts. I realise my accent is all over the place because I was born in Mansfield, but worked in the media where they kind of make you say class and stuff. So sometimes I say one, sometimes I say the other. When I'm relaxed, I do go more northern, which is great. My two kids, because they've not really been exposed to life in the south, at some point they will sound like southerners, but right now they're two little northerners. There's literally a 2-year-old girl who says, bath time. So, class should be a protected characteristic like race or religion to stop the arts being so posh. Says, I don't even need to read more. I agree, because I might get some of that sweet, sweet affirmative action. It's about time. Working class backgrounds, lad from Mansfield. I'll go up to saying class all the time if it helps, if it will get me some more work. Yeah, of course it could. I mean, part of me realises class can't be an immutable trait like the rest of them because you literally can change it. Social climbing is a phrase we've had for ages, therefore showing the mutability of class. But let's shush. Let's not actually pay attention and ruin something that might get me some work and or money. So yeah, I'm all for this. Yeah. I saw a picture of Starmer in his bikini covered with the Pakistani flag. Okay, fair enough. And Ems says the Epstein list, which I don't know what it's in reference to, but I'm all for it. Yeah, we should mention that all the time. Can't wait for that bad boy to come out. Can't remember what I was going to do with this, but this feels like bad news. Chicken outrage. Nando's fans are fuming. You ordered the wrong dish? No, I see. After the spicy chain hiked prices 3 months after the last one, despite making £1.5 billion turnover. A full platter is up 4%. £29. 29 quid. That is expensive. But you should be used to this now because things are just getting more expensive, aren't they? I'm not saying things are more expensive, but I bought a pound cake the other day and it was actually a £5 cake. I'm not saying things are getting expensive, but someone said, I'll give you 7 pennies for your thought. Feel free to do some of these in the chat. I'm not saying things are getting more expensive, but no, I can't do that one. I do it, but don't judge me for it. This is just a pun. This is not, I don't mean the actual content. I said, no, I can't do it. Okay. How do I get around that joke without involving my missus? Someone else. I'm not saying things get any expensive, but a mate of mine said he it's still offensive. He offered to give his missus a good pounding, and actually she required 3.5 poundings. That's still it's not right. Feel free to have a crack at those. They're harder than it seems. I'll go back to it. Thousands of men have been caught stark naked by estate agents showing people around their home. Caught. I can't help but think. There's not a lot of movement in the housing market. That's part one of my evidence. Part two is, you know what blokes are like. I think some of them are sat there going like, "Hello, is that the estate agents? Will you send someone around whenever you want? Oh, of course I'll be ready." And they're just waiting for it. In the same way that sometimes when I go in public toilets and they have the sign up that says, like a female cleaner is working in this toilet, I've stood there for hours. And they never turn up. Joodle says, why is it just men? Good point. That is a good point. Which is why I'm not an estate agent anymore. If you'd stood a chance of that would, I don't know. Maybe women are more attuned as you're getting naked, that maybe there's, where you just sense the presence and you get dressed. I don't know. I tell you why, it's because people don't spend that long naked in general, even if they do around the house. To have someone from Foxton's turn up while you're naked, you've really got to be planning the day centered around that, haven't you? You've got to be working from home, cranking the heating up, because obviously you don't want it to be cold, for 2 reasons. And then just waiting by the door, just like that. Charlotte says, must remember to get dressed before the estate agent comes round. I don't know. I think you get better service. And it depends, doesn't it? I'm sure they'd like it. I wouldn't want to be sat there naked when the estate agent walks in and then you overhear a phrase like compact and bijou. Room for improvement. Aye. Proper Meme says, I'm not saying things are getting more expensive, but the buck doesn't stop here anymore. Medium butterfly chicken with peri fries and spicy rice, says Alex. I'm sorry, I'm not taking order. This is not Just Eat. I know this is the internet, but I don't think that's going to send your food round to yours. What else have we got going here? And I think we're up to date. Nice little semi, says Mr. Cuff. Again, I hope you're talking about the last story, not the bikini one. I'd take whatever I can get. Speaking of taking whatever you can get, no, where's the other one? There's the really quick one. And this is the one that doesn't require any acting. Here we are. This is it, right? No, this is not. Oh, this is not it. NHS hit by injury payout. There's one very similar to this I'll do in a bit, but the NHS has paid out £68 million to settle injury claims from hospital staff attacked at work in the latest 8 years. Look, it's bad. I don't want people attacking healthcare workers. I think that's terrible. It's a shame. I understand how compensation works, but it means we're paying for it. Money I am paying in taxes to fund the NHS is going to end up paying for someone else to receive compensation. Plus also, is it wrong of me to think they also got treated? Yes, you were injured at work, but you literally got fixed. You got repaired for the injury you received. Maybe that a little bit of mitigation. Can we not save some money, given that the NHS employed you, and then, terrible, you got injured, but then fixed you, spending some of the tax money on the fixing of you, and now you want more of the tax money? Okay, it's a terrible thing to think. All right, it's terrible. I didn't realise you were going to judge me like that. That is a terrible thing to think. There we go. Very similar story. This is the one I preferred. Personal injury claims have fallen, and it wasn't their fault. So now they're going to sue as well. Yeah. This one. Smokers who take up vaping to help them quit the habit are less likely to relapse, according to new research. Oh, I preferred it when I could have a go at vapors for being annoying. So now it's better. It is better to vape, because you know me, I don't like it when people are, I've quit smoking and they're vaping. You're cheating. You're basically doing the thing you're saying you're not. But actually, it turns out it is better. Vapors are 20... Vapors is also... we had a phrase for vapors, didn't we? It was a word that meant vapors. You know, the volatile gases that come off a liquid. But vapors are 25% less likely to start smoking again. It's because they never really quit. Why would you have to start smoking again when you're basically doing it already? Because you're vaping. But then again, I was on TV the other day. Did I mention that? And working with that, Stephen and Anne at breakfast. Stephen's a lovely man. I'm a big fan of his work. I mean, Anne's lovely. She's not a lovely man. But he vapes. And to be fair, that studio smells so bad they had to put like Glade plugins. And I realised he's basically a human Glade plugin. That studio smells way nicer when you're working with one of the presenters who vapes. Maybe I shouldn't moan. This is an epiphany. This might not mean much to you, but I've gone through my life. They only invented it a handful of years ago. I've gone through since then hating the vapors, and now I realise they are human air fresheners. You live and learn. All right. What's going on here? Everything's kicking on. I can't hang around today. 1 o'clock, Talk TV. Just Steve says, Proper Memes. Why, what have I done? Well, it's just me standing there waiting for the estate agent. Proper Memes says, it's like working at Nando's and getting free food because you got hungry. Yes, you're getting fixed by the NHS. Just sue them for less. I'm not saying don't sue them, but just be grateful for what you got. Artisanal vapory, says Proper Memes. Yes, the art is anal vapory. Depends. You got to hit the inflection on that just right, haven't you? Judel says, "I do adore how much effort you spend carefully scissoring up the papers for a 3-second joke. Commendable." The injury claims have fallen, but fallen is the word that they, have you had a fall? So it's worth it, wouldn't it? I mean, I would have spent longer on that joke, but I don't think it required it. Charlotte says, "Definitely not better to vape. It's like sticking a pineapple-flavoured battery in your mouth." Do I have any? No, I mean, there's pineapple in the house and I've got batteries out here. And Proper Meme says to Joodles, "Steve has lots of experience in that. He's a seasoned thespian." Experience in what? In doing things? Steve is a thespian. Does his wife know? I don't know. I'm a thespian or a thespian. I'm sure there is a difference. Let's do this story. I've got nothing on this story. I just want to talk about the bloke. But Homes Under the Hammer host Martin Roberts has won a victory to build Europe's longest walking and cycling tunnel under a Welsh mountain, which will literally be under the hammer in a sense. He's really spreading that brand. He backed the Rhondda Tunnel project to reopen the underground 2-mile rail line. I met him twice. He turned up to gigs, and both in the southwest. He must live down there. And the first time he was really nice, and I went away from there going, what a nice guy. Because he was one of those people who really pays attention to you. Proper handshake, how are you? Asked me all about my stuff. And I was like, oh, what a nice guy. And then a few months later, I did another gig in the southwest, and he was at that one. And he introduced himself again to me and did exactly the same thing. Clearly, I left no impression. Oh. Give me a hammer, I would have done. Oh, by the way, good news. No more hate talk, crime in shake-up. Am I the one getting the inflection on those wrong? Non-crime hate incidents will be scrapped in the current form to stop them dragging cops away from catching criminals. Now, if I had the time, which I did not have, I could have found clips of me being on the TV. Have I mentioned I do that? Of me saying this is exactly what needs to happen. Non-crime, oh, there's the clue. Clue's in the question. If it's not a crime, then don't give it to the people in charge of crimes. And then I've talked about how you should be prioritizing things. We could make a list of crimes. Do the big ones first. Maybe if you've solved all the burglaries, have a look at Twitter if you must. Sure thing. Who am I to judge? But until then, let's have a hierarchy. If someone's done a bit of a bad or slightly rude WhatsApp message in a WhatsApp group about a teacher, maybe don't send around 6 cops to do it. If you have to send around 1, at least send the other 5 out to do some crime stuff. But I was very much against it. I was against it, and now it's stopped. Ergo, I stopped it. You're welcome. No, because, look, not all heroes wear capes. I'm sure there is one. There's probably one over there somewhere, but you're welcome, guys. Now, you could say correlation and causation, and I will tell you those phrases are going to get banned in the chat. You can talk about artisanal vapories if you want, if that's how you smoke it. Put that up your pipe and smoke it. Had a crush on Martel from Homes Under the Hammer. I don't know which one Martel is. You do leave an impression, Steve, don't you? Well, I leave this impression.
It's because we're stupid.
Somewhere there is a Google Doc spreadsheet with all the impressions on. I've been promised. Can we get that going? My old friend and all that, right? You work hard, Steve. Thank you for doing this for us. We do appreciate it.
We wanted it.
I do leave an impression. Steve is a thespian. Read that one. Does Martin smell? He looks like a smelly bloke for some reason, says Mr. Cuff. No, he's one of those, he's done well in TV, so he buys all the expensive parfums. He smells very fragrant and really made me feel like he paid attention to me for the first time. And then I was so aware, I hadn't even touched the sides. ASMR. What we got? I've got too many of these to do. Potholesville. Residents sign protest over road craters. Fuming families have renamed their street Potholesville because nobody will repair it. Yeah, problem is now they're not going to repair it, are they? Because they'll turn up and they'll think, oh no, this is a feature. This is how it's meant to be, is it? Despite the undrivable road being the only access to the local supermarket. Well, it's going to be the most frequently used roads, isn't it? That's how roads work. This is a problem with low traffic neighbourhoods. More traffic on one road, road wears out. Duh. Old Bridge Way, well, it was already called Old. Again, the naming of these things. Of course it's knackered, it's old. And now, of course, it's got potholes. It's called Potholesville. Only problem is Patholesville. Yeah? That's the trouble, isn't it? Patholesville. Because someone won't know, some tourist, some stupid American will be going like, hey, honey, should we go and visit United Kingdom in England and see some of the lovely villages? I've read about one, Patholesville. Shall we go and visit Patholesville? We'll have a lovely time. Of course, the roads are an absolute mess, honey. Those roads have been there since the Roman times. England in London had dual carriageways since the Roman times, honey. So what do you expect like that? More of those coming over here. Not incredibly sure we want that. Martin's here. Hi, Martin. Do you actually want to touch the sides? says Doodles. Good question. Of course he does, says Charlotte. I don't really understand what that phrase means. I'm struggling with these impressions. Someone with a speech impediment.
Because we're stupid.
That guy. Yeah? How dare you say that Gollum has a speech impediment? It's offensive. No wonder he's so upset. Oh, yeah, we should mention this. It's just funny, isn't it? So, Keir Starmer was ridiculed for a miserable Burns Night celebration. How's he celebrating Burns Night? He's got a plate of Tunnock's tea cakes, Tunnock's caramel biscuits, the ones in the middle I don't recognise, and some iron brew. It's just offensive, isn't it? It's basically Scottish face. It's Scottish face with snacks. The only way it could have been more of an absolute pee take is if he'd have been like, all right, I'll celebrate Burns Night, just deep fry some of this stuff. That's what they like, innit? Hang on. Some chat's coming through. Patholes. Have you been to... Hey, honey, have you been to Patholes? That's near Middlesbrough. Well, in that case, they won't be going there, will they? Dual carriageways are what jousters used. Oh. Good point. The central reservation is where you had to put your pole. And I believe I worked with someone who did that on a roundabout. We won't name names because he's actually a really nice guy. But Box Jibe, 12k rap. It's not me, is it? That doesn't make any sense. A worker with rejection sensitivity has won a 12 grand payout. Of course they have. Because how could you say to them, you've not won? You know what I mean? It's genius. After a boss told her to stop thinking outside the box. To be fair, she did work in a funeral parlour. And that's not true, but it's good night for me. And finally, the news of someone who was told to stop thinking out of the box. But they did work in a funeral parlour. It's good night for me, and it's good night, good night, good night. Neurodivergent Sophie Stone. By day, I'm sorry, if you've got a name like that, you have to fight crime at night. Sophie Stone, by day. By night, feels violated at work. Over the 2022 comment while asking about a breakout area for an office party. And, hang on, they were told, I don't know, a tribunal ruled the event planner suffered disability discrimination. Imagine a disability where everyone has to say yes to you. I like it. I want to see if I can get some of that. How do we... for all you know, I have that, and you don't want to be sued. And also, Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen, saying, chop a couple of quid there. I bet you don't have to. You could be a ableist. It's up to you, innit? Absolutely up to you. This, what have we got? Joodle says he was just missing the Jimmy hat. I don't know what that was. That seems like slang for a prophylactic. Violated the job's properly a carrot. Yep. This is the world we live in. One of the topics we'll be talking about on Talk TV actually later, I believe. I didn't even read this one, but I wanted to find out more about it, so I chucked it on the show. The BBC is set to use streaming service iPlayer to catch license dodgers. Up to 40 million online accounts are expected to be linked with TV license status. Anyone who watches or records live TV on any channel or uses the iPlayer must pay for I'm sorry. If you're not paying your TV license and you're still watching the TV, but you're doing it after signing in to an iPlayer account, that's on you, isn't it? That's absolutely on you. Look, I think the license fee needs changing, but if you're the kind of criminal who goes, I'm going to get away with this, what I'm going to do is thoroughly give them all of the information about what I'm doing. End of plan. That's not a Ocean's 11 plot, put it that way. 5,000 Brits faced pet monkey ban. I understand this headline. Pet monkey fans, monkey fans, are in danger of having their primates seized. Ouch. And killed. Okay, that is quite sad. Under new laws. Oh, maybe I don't care too much. Experts say there are up to 5,000 marmosets, capuchin squirrel monkeys, and tangerines, whichever that one is. They're really getting into the weeds on the type of monkeys going on here, aren't they? I like the mandrill. Of all the ones that are technically monkeys, and you know what I'm like, if anyone lists an ape in the chat, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to go literally ape what they do. Ape. But I like the mandrills because it's the one primate you can walk up to it and say, why the long face? Why's it always got to be the horses who get that joke? It feels like we primates should stick together. They'll just send them to Hartlepool. Never been. I'll take your word for it. Not going to go by the sounds of it, unless I get sent there for being a monkey. No, I got nothing on that. This one's a small one, so I must have picked it for a reason. Oh, it's too late. Should have done this one at the start of the show. Only a third of adults receive regular compliments, with the most given for being funny or kind, according to a poll of 2020 Brits. Just some people do not know when to stop, do they? I just thought it would be a little experiment, a science experiment, a social science, so it's not real science. Psychology, sociology, not science. But a pretend science experiment where what we could do is pay me a compliment, end of plan. So, Mandrill was Steve's grinder name. I'll take that as a compliment. Still is, says hi-ho Kermit. What I'm saying is, we need to be paying me compliments. No, you picked the wrong time to be mocking me for me monkey-related grinder account. What we're trying to do here, no, you missed the point, is just pay me compliments. That's the experiment that we're doing. Several messages got censored again in the stream chat, and nothing even naughty. Maybe that's it. Do more naughty ones. I got my microphone shot through the whole thing. If ever there's some chat that needs to be naughty, it would be this show. Don't forget, pay me a compliment. That's the thing we're doing right now. My messages aren't going through, says Charlotte. You'd rather compliments than cash. It doesn't have to be one or the other, does it? Bake Off Nigella, giddily grateful. Nigella Lawson, there she is. There she is. A reverse Wally as well with that outfit. Nigella Lawson says she is giddily grateful to join the Great British Bake Off cast people. It was confirmed she's going to be a judge. The celebrity chef, 66, taking over from Prue Leith. Where's the bit down here I thought was funny? She said, I am uncharacteristically rather lost for words. Posh people, when they're lost for words, still use 3 times as many words as I'd need for that sentence. I don't know what to say. Well, I'm rather uncharacteristically lost for words. I am somewhat taciturn. I'm laconically challenged. Posh people, man. Of course, it's daunting to be following in the footsteps of Prue Leith and Mary Berry before her, but I'm also bubbling with excitement. Even that's sexy, isn't it? When she says bubbling, frothy would normally put you right off, but she's a sexy lady. What I'm trying to say is that I might go back to Bake Off. Bake Off has now got It's in the bank. You know, I don't want to be too crude here. I don't want to be too crude. I'm just trying to say, when she is a judge on Bake Off, it will be far easier to pleasure yourself while watching it. Is that me being not crude? And again, I'm not being harsh to Prue or to Mary. It was doable. It just took more of a challenge. And again, just to make you know, it's not an insult to any of them. If anything, it's a compliment to all. Nigella Lawson era Bake Off will be the easiest to pleasure to. Prue Leaf. No, Mary Berry, then Prue Leaf. Hey, don't judge me. And I think the hardest one to self-pleasure to was Greg Wallace era MasterChef. Not impossible, but took a while. So you're up to date on that one. So look, where do we get to? It's always nice to get a compliment. It flipping would be. Take the hint. Don't try a reverse Wally, not with your bad knees. Yeah. Don't want to hear something pop during that, do you? I bet Hollywood's well up for it. It was doable, says Joodles. Look, I like a challenge. There is no point. Why do people go to the gym? Because you have to challenge yourself. There's no point taking the easy road. The path least walked. Charlotte says, we know what Steve will be doing every Tuesday when Bake Off's on. Sorry, I didn't realise they said Bake Off. That's the problem. My hearing's going, and I got the wrong instruction. The Great British what now? All right, why have you got that many cakes there? That's not helping. That was the first letter I wrote to the BBC. But Paul Hollywood, that's why Hollywood's up for it. Thank you. I've just about understood. Right, I've got to go really quickly, which is a shame because people have been sending me some stories to talk about, and we will try and... do we have time? Yeah, okay. We'll get back into this one. Proper Meme sent me this story, which is why the thumbnail looks like that. How did an AI-generated purple-haired goth become a symbol for the UK far right? I think, if I can track down, we've got a video by it. Here we are.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm English, and I love England. I like having fish and chips and a pint at the local pub. I like Shakespeare and Dickens, Tolkien and Lewis, Harry Potter.
Now, we move to one side the fact that she clearly said Harry Potter. But that's to be expected. Look at her hairstyle. How is it that that's far right? I'm English. I love England. I like fish and chips. Oh, that's the world we live in now, is it? Now, I would have got the screenshot for you, but I was on Talk TV last night. Did I mention I do stuff like that? And we were talking about how apparently Shakespeare was actually a black Jewish woman. So it turns out, not right-wing anymore. I am solving these problems for you. What else have we got time to do? There was a story by... Joodle sends this one. In 2016, a woman in China asked all 20 of her boyfriends to each buy her an iPhone as a gift. She then sold the phones and used the money to buy a house. And there she is. There's a word to describe this, and I can't say that on the stream, but a lot of iPhones there. I mean, well done, if that's what you're into. I can't believe she actually sold all 20. Why would you not sell 19 and then just pretend that the one you've got is the one they all bought you? You wouldn't have been caught. Some people just don't think this through. I make sure she had time to use a smartphone as well. She would have been busy. 20 boyfriends. There are 7 nights a week. I don't want to get into it, but obviously they did. And then, thanks to Ems, who sends this one, Henry Hoover thief targeted fish and chip shop, barbers and Asda during one-man crime spree. As Ems herself points out, this Henry Hoover thief, he really cleaned up. I do love the story, though. Firstly, his name is Ashley Plunkett Johnson, which is both the noise and the thing that would happen if you get intimate with the Henry Hoover. Plunkett. There he is. So he nicked a Henry Hoover. He nicked some clippers and stuff like that. Maybe he was just trying to turn his life around. He could have been doing himself up to try and get a job. Sometimes there are some crimes you've got to allow, and this is one that I think you should have allowed. He went on his crime spree on December the 23rd. Hey, man, we've all fallen for that before. Oh, I didn't get any gifts. So he went out and he did some of that then. So I'm free the Henry Hoover one. What's happening there? Phonstitute says Proper Memes. Is this like the finger in pie situation? I'm not sure. Probably isn't. Would that buy you a phone box? Well, the rest of the story points out is back then, for some reason, they managed to sell them really expensively, these iPhones, which is weird. They would have been made just down the road. But then it was the deposit for a house. And Martin says, 20 phones paid for a house? What are house prices like there? Which is weird because houses come with a home phone. So it should be, Hi-Ho Kermit said he just bought a house with 20 iPhones and needed to furnish. Yeah, but deposit for house. That is the plot twist there. So I think we're up to date. I've got to head off and prep for Talk TV. We know what we like to do. There are no plugs today, by the way. I didn't have time to write them down. Because the main plug is that I will be on the telly box in 9 minutes. So let's see if they've sent me any stories. No. Let's try this again then. Let's refresh. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make some stuff up again. Okay, here we go. Stories and Zoom link. Ooh, they've listed my fee. That's nice. I won't show you that then. Stories to be discussed. Ex-Home Secretary Suella Braverman becomes the latest Tory to defect to Reform UK, saying it feels like I've come home. Okay, there must be a joke in there about the come home thing. Oh, second story. Suella Braverman launches attack on the Tories. I can do my thing about how she was in charge. Burnham rebellion grows. 50 Labour MPs sign letter to Starmer protesting against the decision to block. All right, I got a hot take on that. I'll say how good I am at predicting things. Travel chaos. Storm Chandra brings floods and snow. Oh, if only I'd got a hot take on the storm names. And Labour expects to lose by-election after Andy Burnham blocked. Done it. Yep, sorry, we don't have any official butt plugs today. M says, Fee, I thought you got paid in compliments. Every time I go on the social media is filled with not compliments. If I were paid by compliments, the people who comment underneath their videos on Talk TV and GB News would still mean I'd be owed some money. I'm saying that to you. Thank you very much for watching these streams today. Stick around. I'll be busy from 1 on Talk TV. All Hit Radio show then goes through till 3. But then after that, I'm trying to make a video. I shouldn't be drinking this. A video of the making of today. So there won't be clips coming out from today's show. There is a making of video. So go to ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen, where the video will first appear, and then I'll pop it on social media as well. That was like doing your homework on the bus. Thank you. That is the level of preparation, which makes sense when you see the fee that I get. Burnham will never reach... what's that? What? Is that? Oh, hashtag Shakespeare. All right. You've outdone me here. I thought that was the name of a town that got potholes or something. And I think we're fully up to date. Yeah, no butt plugs. We'll do that again next time. Thank you for watching. Thursday, there might not be a show. I'm in the dentist at 9:30. The Crown. So this episode of The Crown, there is a chance that we do a show on Thursday at 12 when I'm still numbed in the face and drugged up. I mean, it won't make any less sense, I suppose, so maybe we will do it. So, you're up to date. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.
Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again.
Britain is in the grip of a vomiting epidemic caused by not eating TV adverts.
He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen,
on slavery.
almost killing.
Investigating
Laughs and facts,
maybe I don't.
served up plainly.
You look at your face, like, what are you going to do with that, Steve?
Never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Hey, honey, Buffaloesville.